let's start with it then. Alright, so QMI 1500, second paper. Let's just change that then. Second paper. Right, and we're obviously looking at the answers. Okay, so let's see. In maths, obviously, you've got to apply your knowledge of algebra and all of that. So you'll see the first question is a maths question. Let's make it bigger. Alright, so we can see everything here. When you see a question like this, you've got a bracket and you've got an exponent. So you need to obviously get rid of the brackets. So this needs to be multiplied in. Okay, because everything's raised by minus 2. Okay, so if you've got a power, so for example, if you had this, x squared times x to the 3, what's the answer?
X to the 5.
Yeah, you add. Okay, what happens if you have this? X squared raised by the 3.
To multiply the 2.
Exactly. Then it's x to the 6. Yes. Alright, good. So those are basic rules. Alright, so when you have exponents and you're multiplying, you add them. When you have exponents where you're raising it by another power, you multiply. Okay, so that's the basic rule. But that's important because you'd use that here. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to times the minus 2 into the bracket. So x to the 5 will be x to the minus 10. X to the 2 will be x to the 4, minus 4. X to the minus 3 will be x to the plus 6 over x to the 0. X to the 0
is always 1.
Yes. Okay, anything to the power 0 is always 1. And then obviously x to the minus 3. Okay, then when you have this, obviously you've got numerator and denominator. So if you've got numerator and denominator, you would then subtract. Okay, or you can move things up and down depending on what you want to do. I think let's move things up and down because negatives mean in that swap it around. Okay, so negative there means put it here. Negative there means put it at the top. Right, so this would actually equal x to the 3 times x to the 6. And then those two will go to the bottom, x to the 10 and x to the 4. Right, which gives you x to the 9 over x to the 14. Right, then what do you do here? You can subtract or you can cancel. So that will cancel with that. You're left with 5. Okay, so 1 over x to the 5. Right, what do we have here? Okay, so none of the above.
Yeah, I don't do it that way.
No, the answer here is none of the above. Okay, let's check it again. Minus 2 times that is minus 10. Minus 2 times that is minus 4. Minus 2 that is 6, yes.
I did the same with the minus 3.
Oh, be careful. I made a mistake here. That negative times a negative is a positive. Ooh, mistake, see? Okay, so rub that out. And then this is obviously going to change. Okay, so then, right, so x to the 6 over 10, 17. Okay, so that will be x to the, cancel, x to the 6, there's 11, hey? Okay, so it's still none of the above anyway. Still none of the above, yeah. Right, so if you look at this, let's double check. Minus 2 times 5 is minus 10, yes. That times that is minus 4. That times that is plus 6. That times 0 is obviously 0, so that doesn't change. This times that is x to the plus 6. Oh. Okay, can I start over?
Well, this is how I've done it while we're off. Or while we're on. I could really want to restart.
Let's check. Right, so QMI second paper, 2 hours, May, June 2017. It's 100 marks. The first question here is looking at the basics, okay, with numbers being multiplied, exponents. Right, so if I simplify this, I'm going to multiply that in We'll multiply that in. Okay, so that's going to give me x to the minus 10, x to the minus 4, x to the 6. Right, then I've got 1 times x to the plus 6. Right, so that's going to equal, this will be x to the 6 at the top, x to the 10, x to the 4, x to the 6. Right, that can cancel, which is 1 over x to the 14. Okay, so that's one, option 1.
Mm-hmm.
1 over x to the 14.
It sounds like that.
No, your last step is not right. X to the minus 14 means write it over. So you had this, x to the minus 14, that's correct. But when you write this, so for example, we spoke about the rule there. If I have x to the minus 1, how do I write that? 1 over x. If I write x to the minus 3, how do I write that? 1 over x3. Okay, so if I have this, x to the minus 14, I write that as 1 over x to the 14. Okay, so your last step was wrong. Just be careful. Okay, so you had the right answer here. You just didn't convert it correctly. Right, the next one. Question 2. Suppose that x1 is that, x2 is that, x3 is that, 4 is that, 5 is that. Simplifying. Okay, so they say, so t2 to 4. Okay, so that means x2, 1 over 3, all the way to the 4. Okay. Alright, so that means that the sum of how many? 2 to 4. So this one, and that one. Those 3. Okay, I'm going to be using those 3 in order to do the calculation. Okay, so I'm going to have 27 to a third. Then I'm going to add, that was the first one, that's the x2. Then the x3, because it's from t2 to t4. So from t2 to t4, basically. Okay, so there's the third one, 64. And 125. Okay, so we're looking at cube roots here. Now obviously you can do this in your calculator. You type that into your calculator and you get an answer. Okay, obviously this would be 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times 4 times 4, 5 times 5 times 5, plus. Okay, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 5 is 12. Option 1.
I still struggle with that.
Yeah, you just type it into the calculator. It's the interpretation. Okay, so when you see this, what does this say? Right, this says the summation of x to this little symbol there, and there's a little symbol. Okay, so they're saying x to the 1, x to the 2, x to the 3. Okay, but to the 1 over 3, 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 and then add all of them up. That's what they're saying. Okay, it's just a fancy way of writing that down. Basically taking those 3 amounts and then adding them up. Okay. Right, suppose the semester mark of a certain module consists of a linear combination of the marks for 2 assignments. Okay, so 2 assignments. Assignment 1 contributes 10% towards the semester mark, and assignment 2 contributes 90%. Okay, so we need to write that down. Question 3. Assignment 1 and assignment 2. Assignment 1 in terms of the weighting, 10%, and the other 90%.
Yes.
The final assessment mark consists of 80% of the exam mark and 20% of the semester mark. Okay, so this makes up the semester. Right, and then your year mark is 80% of the exam, so exam mark, and 20% of the semester. 80% exam, so in terms of weighting, 80% this, 20% that. Okay, Dumasani obtained 90 in assignment 1 and 80 in assignment 2. Okay, so he got 90 and 80. Okay, so his marks were as follows. He got a mark here of 90 and a mark there of 80. Okay, so we need to work out his semester mark. Right, so how are we going to get his semester mark? It's going to be brackets 10%. Okay, so 10% divided by 100 times his mark. Do you agree? Plus 90% divided by
100
times his mark. Okay, 81. Right, so he's got 81 for the semester mark.
Yes.
Okay, then 81 is going to be multiplied by 20% to get his year mark. Okay, so that's what we want to get. So then let's do that here. Okay, so year mark, all right, 81, okay, times 20%, times 20 over 100 is 16.2.
Yes.
Okay, so 16.2 is the amount that he will have as part of his year mark. Okay, from what? From his assignments. Okay. Right, then they say he obtained an exam mark of 75 at the end of the semester. So this mark here was 75. That is that's what he got. Okay, so then the weighting would be 75 times 80%. Okay, gives 60. Alright, so then his final mark is obviously the sum. Okay, so summing up those two. Okay, so he passes with 76.2. Okay, option 2.
So nice having something right for a change.
Good. Right, yeah, that was a nice question just based on your marks. Right, question 4. The 4J sold memory cards for cellular phones for a profit of that. The profit is shared between them in a ratio to that of the number of memory cards they sold. Alright, so obviously you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So 33 to 44. Let's write their names down. Let's shrink this.
I can have it here for you.
And it's fine. Let's keep it up on the screen as well. Okay. Jonas to Jacob to James to Joseph was 33 to 40 to 23 to 48. Okay, so obviously we need to know how much they sold. So the total is going to be the sum of those amounts. So 33 plus 40 plus 23 plus 48. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so 144. Right, so they all get a fraction of that. Okay, so how much money does James get? Where is James? James is the third. Okay, so James gets 23 over 144 of the 2596.80. Okay, so that equals whatever that equals to. Let's see. 2596.80 times 23 over 144. Okay, that's how much he gets. Option 1. Okay. Right, 5. Al is traveling by airplane. There are 5 in-flight movies for him to watch. In how many different ways can he choose? There's the important bit, so it's choice. Any 3 out of the 5 to watch before the flight is over. Okay, so on your calculator, okay, you use that one.
I said 5, choose 3.
Yeah, so 5, shift, where's the choice again? There, choice 3, 10 different ways. Number 1. Okay.
I'll also use that calculator.
Yeah, you can use whichever one you want, as long as you put in the right figures. Right, next, 6. Consider question 5 again. In how many ways can Al arrange 3 movies out of the 5 to watch in a specific order? That's important. Order is permutations. So then it's 5p3. Okay, so you just change the c to a p. Second function, p. Permutation, 60 different ways. Option 4. Okay, because you're ordering those 5 films. Okay, yeah, so it's not a combination, it's a permutation. Okay, because they said order is important. Order is important for permutations. Okay, the way I remember it, permutation starts with a P, so position is important. Okay, position. P for permutation, P for position. C for combination, C for choice. Okay. Alright, question 7. R's car averages 14 kilos per liter. It's a very, very heavy. 14 kilometers per liter. Oh, that's actually not too bad. Yeah, because if we times it by, well, yeah, okay, so it's actually not too bad. Per liter. Okay. The fuel tank has 50 liters. The cost of petrol, well, that's very low. Per liter. R's trip to her destination, 250. She wants to reach her destination without stopping for a refuel. Money is tight and her tank is almost empty. The minimum amount of money she needs to pay for petrol to reach her destination. Okay, so that's the destination. That's the total kilometers. Okay, in terms of her distance, she averages 14 kilometers per liter. Okay, so if she needs to travel a total of 250 k's, alright, how many liters will she need? How many liters will she need? Okay, well, to work that out, to get the answer to that question, it's going to be 250 kilometers divided by 14 kilometers. Gives you the number of liters she uses. Okay, so 250 divided by 14 is 17.85 liters. Okay, we times that by the cost per liter, 11 Rand 20 gives you how much? Let's see.
200.
This times 11 Rand 20. Yeah, 200 Rand is what she's going to have to spend on as a minimum. Right, so obviously if she wants to reach her destination without getting stuck, she'd probably want to fill up more than 200. Okay, 200 is the bare minimum. That'll get her there. But that means that she'll use every single milliliter of petrol.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so she'd have to put slightly more than that and she'll definitely get there. Right, let's see. 8. Okay, 8 says the expression for the straight line parallel to. Okay, so if it's parallel to, remember, this is y equals mx plus c. That's the equation for a straight line from maths. This is your slope. Okay, so if a line is parallel, what does that mean? They have the same slope. Okay, so what other line has an m of 5? Option 1. That was like basic. Alright, wow, this was an easy paper, hey? Okay, question 9. So far it's really good. Okay, what does 9 say? Shop owner has a special offer on peaches. He sells 1 packet for that. Okay, so let's write that down. Price for 1 packet is 33 Rand. And 3 packets of peaches for 90. So 3 packets for 90. Let X represent the number of packets sold and let Y represent the price of the peaches. Okay, so Y is the price, X is the quantity. The relationship between quantity sold and price is a linear equation. There they give it to you, y equals mx plus c. 2 data points following directly from the given information that will satisfy the linear relationship are. Okay, well, price for 1 packet. So price is y. So y equals, the price for 1 packet is 33. So 33 equals x is the quantity times the price. Okay, so it'll be 33x. Okay, so y equals 33x. Y equals 33x. So if x equals 1, then y equals 33. Okay, so the first point will be x is 1. X is the quantity, so 1 and 33. Okay, that's the one. Right, then the other one was 3 packets for 90. 3 packets is the quantity. So 3 packets to the quantity of 90. So that would have been y is the price. 3 packets for 90. Yeah. So 3 and 90.
Yes.
So which one? This one? Yeah. No.
Option 2.
Yes, 2. Right, question 10. Consider the quadratic equation, the value of the discriminant. Okay, the discriminant is your b squared minus 4ac. Okay, remember you've got a quadratic equation. Okay, the quadratic equation has this as a square root. It has square root this. Alright, the discriminant is referring to that. Okay, so b squared minus 4ac is the discriminant. Okay, so what is b squared?
Minus 15 squared.
Yes, good. Minus 4ac. 4 times a. A is 4. C is 10. Close brackets. Equals. Alright, so let's see what we get. Alright, so 15 times 15 minus, open brackets, 4 times 4 times 10, close brackets, equals 65.
Yes.
Option 3. Perfect. Okay, question 11 is a graph question. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Alright, that's obviously a parabola. Do you agree? Alright, then they say which of the following is true. Alright, the value of y at the turning point is negative. Let's check. Where's the turning point? Here's the turning point. Right, the y value for the turning point is positive, not negative. So that's out. The value of the x at the vertex is positive. The value of x, that goes down there, the value of x is negative, not positive. That's also out. The value of a is negative. the value of A would be negative Y because the graph is sloping like that. Okay, it's unhappy. Okay, so if it's unhappy, A must be negative. If A is negative, you'll have a graph like that. If A is positive, you'll have a graph like this.
I've already drawn.
Yeah, perfect. Alright, so that's the right answer. The discriminant is negative. Well, the discriminant would be positive because you've got two separate x's. Yeah, so that's out. Okay, so yeah, number 3 is right. Okay, 12. A man has 17 notes in his wallet, consisting of 200 Rand notes, 50 Rand notes. The total value of the notes is, okay, so total is 2,200. Okay, if he makes a payment using all the 200 notes, how much money will he have left in his wallet? Okay, so they want us to find how many notes he has. Okay, so obviously this is X, and then make this Y. Okay, so 200 of the X, 200 Rand notes, whatever he has, plus 50 of the Y notes that he has must equal 2200. Okay, and he has how many notes? 17 notes. That means X plus Y must give you 17. Where?
It's 220, isn't it?
It is 220. Yeah, it's 220.
I swear it says 2,200. Yeah.
Yeah, 2,200 is right. 2,200.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so 2,200 is that. So now you've got a simultaneous equation. Right, so what can I do? Make X the subject. X equals 17 minus Y. Right, so now if I know what X is, I can put X into there. Okay, so this is going to be bracket 17 minus Y. Alright, so let's see. 200 times 17 is 3,400 minus 200Y plus 50Y equals 2200. Alright, so let's simplify this. So this will be 3,400 minus 2,200 equals, that'll be negative 150, so 150Y on that side. Okay, this is 3,400 minus 2200 gives me that equals, come on, why doesn't it want to paste it? Okay, doesn't matter. Y equals 150Y. Okay, solve for Y. Y equals 1200 divided by 150 gives you 8 notes. Okay, so Y was the number of 50 Rand notes that he had. Okay, so obviously if he's got 8 50 Rand notes and there's 17 notes in total, then I can solve for X. Alright, so X equals 17 minus 8, which equals 9 notes. Alright, so how many 200 Rand notes did he have? He had 9 200 Rand notes. Okay, 9 times 200 Rand is 1,800. Alright, so how much money will he have left in his wallet if he pays using all his 200 Rand notes? Okay, well then obviously he will have the 50 Rand notes left over, which is 8 notes times 50 Rand, which is 400. Okay, so yeah, option 2. Okay, question 13, the graphical representation of the inequality. Right, when you get an inequality like this, you need to solve. All right, so let's solve for x. Let's leave everything on this side. So I'm gonna say 6x minus 12x equals 15 minus 45. Not equals, greater than and equal to, like that. Okay, so that's minus 6x. That'll be minus 30. Okay, then what do you do when you divide by minus 6? You swap the sign around. So x, there, 5. Right, so x is less than or equal to 5. Okay, so then x is less than or equal to 5. None of them have a shaded in square. Do you agree? This one looks quite good, but the circle is not shaded in. Okay, because it was less than or equal. So now the thing is, if it's less than or equal, remember the equal there, that means all of them are wrong, because all of them have an open circle, not a closed circle. Do you see that? So actually it's none of the above.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah. Option 5. Question 13. Option 5. Why? Because all the number lines have open circles. If less than and equal, then we need a closed circle. Okay, so it's actually quite a silly question. Right, but if this one was closed, then that would have been the answer. Okay.
But this one and this one is actually the same. Yeah, it's actually the same.
Yeah, so maybe they forgot to shade one in, maybe, don't know, but they're all open circles. Okay.